Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Chrystal.
I'm Merf.
We're just two rad fatties sitting around
Chewing the fat.
Twice a month, we'll be chatting about current events,
Hot topics.
sex, sex toys, fat politics, fat community, cannabis, CBD, you name it, we're going to talk about it. We are very excited to have you a part of our community. Welcome and enjoy. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Big Sexy Chat. My name's Chrystal.
I'm Merf.
And I'm Asherlee.
Hey, Asherlee.
Hey, Chrystal.
And Merf.
Chrystal.
For those of you who watch a lot or listen to us a lot, you realize we probably don't, we don't always have Asherlee on our show, but we love having her. And this episode, we're going to be talking about all the great things that happen in the fat world in this year, besides our podcast, the highlights and the lowlights and the statistics and all that good stuff. And you can probably hear that I have a little bit of a cold. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Merf, and I'm going to turn my mic on mute until I have something really amazing to say. Take it away, Merf.
Poor Chrystal, not feeling well. It stinks.
Yeah.
I love you. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
So we are talking about the year in review for Big Sexy Chat, and that has to do with, like Chrystal said, all the things happening in pop culture and politics and news and all those wonderful things, but also the things that we did here in the last year. So let's say first episode, we start out and wow, what did you think, Chrystal? What was the first thing when we started that first episode that went through your head?
We had some technical difficulties getting started. I think it took us an hour and a half before we were recording. I remember having this distinct feeling you were not feeling it anymore that night. I was like, we could stick with it or we could try another time.
Yeah.
We stuck with it. And we had a great time, but yeah, it was rough getting started.
It was. We had spent all this time and money getting all this equipment and trying it and testing it out. And I just remember this was before we had Asherlee watching it and helping out and troubleshooting. And I was just like, it's not working. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And we ended up switching over to like I had a webcam, I think, and that was my speakers and my video. It was interesting, but I'm glad that we went through it and we learned a lot from it. And it's only gotten better since then, I think.
Absolutely. I agree.
Asherlee, what was it like listening to the first episode and not being a part of it, but, getting to participate in one way or another?
Yeah, it was an adventure. I think it was, and a lot of it, right, because I'm coming at it from an editing perspective and those back in the very beginning. So if anyone listening has ever edited audio, they would know. But so the audio stream that came in from the very first episode was one solid voice. Basically, both of you guys merged together as one audio line. And so there was no way to edit individual voices and individual sound and background things and all this stuff, and trying to separate it did not work out very well. So it was an adventure because I get to hear it from a completely different lens than our listeners get to hear it. And so for me, instead of getting to hear like this whole podcast, like this whole big, amazing thing you guys are talking about and everything, it was like little tiny pieces. So it was just like little tiny baby sounds. And a lot of it is making sure that like breathing sounds don't become Jabba the Hutt, which
Asherlee, I am your father.
There was a lot of that. So we've since
walking far away from the microphone that you can hardly hear us.
Yes. There was all these little technical things that, like, as the editor, right, that my whole world was in incremental pieces of seconds. Even still, like, even with all those little pieces, I knew from the very first episode that what you guys were doing was going to be impactful for people. And that was it for me. Like, I was like, I'm so excited. I get to help with this. This is great. And every single episode I have loved for one reason or another.
That's awesome. That's a great perspective too, to get to hear it from somebody who's behind the scenes and deals with all the little nuances and pineapples.
Our safe word is pineapple. And Asherlee, thank you, because we couldn't do it without you. So
yeah,
so happy to have you in the back end and on the front end tonight. Both. You're going to do both.
Ooh, I'm a top and a bottom.
You are, yes.
So, Chrystal, we had a lot of stuff happen this year. why don't you give us some news highlights in fat news, fat entertainment, fat politics?
So, three things that really stand out to me that are highlights is the show Somebody Somewhere with Bridget Everett and her cast of amazing characters, and the fact that her show was just a show, not about a fat lady. It was about a lady, a person, and they didn't really pay any attention to her size until they got to that one weird episode with her sister, I think. But other than that, it was just like she's just a person. I don't know why that's so hard for people to grasp that concept. Why can't we just have fat characters? I mean, we exist everywhere.
Right.
But that was standout highlight for me. Big deal to me. Recently, the show that Lizzo created, all about the big girls, that was pretty big.
Yeah.
Also, that was huge. But what I was going to say, and I'm saying now, is that I loved Lizzo's acceptance speech at the People's Choice Awards because she was giving credit for all the people that helped make her who she is. And that's amazing. She called out a lot of social activists, and like she said, you can't be an icon without icons on your team. And that's beautiful. I love that. Setting a great example for everybody. And then you guys might not remember this, but I remember when they had a Disney short, and it was basically highlighted or featured that cute little fat ballerina Lizzie. And that was really cool too, because you don't really see, you only see mean characters in the Disney world that are fat, right? Never like Snow White is never fat, or Cinderella. It's always like, I'm a mean sea octopus and I'm from Disney and I'm fat.
or like the grandmotherly, like sweet, like, no, there's nothing else to me other than I'm here to serve you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the highlights for me. What about you?
Oh, I absolutely agree with those. I mean, I think Lizzo's show was just incredible. I mean, I think it really changed the way a lot of people look at reality shows. And I really hope that that's kind of the basis going forward. I know that I've seen a couple of really like more strength based, positive based messages with reality shows. And I much prefer that than the bachelor that gets to choose to fuck a million different women in an episode and I love you, and that kind of stuff. Um, I enjoyed Lizzo's show on HBO, the Love Lizzo, the documentary. I really felt like that was impactful. I thought that that was helpful to just kind of hear her story and see how she deals with media and the entertainment industry. And I really enjoyed just seeing different fat characters this year. I think we talked about it, in our first or second episode about Peacemaker. And there was, he had chubby people and fat people on his team. And you didn't see things like that. And it just doesn't exist. And I think we got to see a lot of fat characters, obviously Somebody Somewhere with Bridget. But yeah, it was just neat to see people getting representation that's not just so stereotyped. Asherlee, did you have any thoughts or?
No thoughts, head empty. No, you guys said it all.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I could add that you guys haven't already. I mean, I think one of the things that I got to enjoy this year I think it existed before this year, but Rutherford Falls, I hadn't heard of that or seen that. And like one of the main characters being this like beautiful fat woman and like she's got love interests, right? Like she's just treated like a regular person. There's not this like, oh, she has to be the funny fat friend or whatever. And she's not just fat, like she's Native American. She like gets to represent her culture and identity in this show without having to be some trope, like, and she gets to make fun of tropes in it too, which is great. But like, there was so many things about that I'm like, oh God, that's nice. Like we're finally to that point where we don't have to be the funny fat friend for the most part, or we're like, we don't have to be the mom, or we don't have to be the bad guy, or we don't have to be whatever all these other things are that you always see fat people as. And it was nice to like have something outside of just even the stuff we talk about here that I was like, oh, that's nice. So,
Mhm.
but other than that, I second and third all of the things.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on the Rutherford Falls. She's an incredible actress. We got to get her name for the show notes for sure. In talking about this year in review, we had some amazing guests on the show. It was really, really fun. And I know that we're always looking for more individuals to bring on. But yeah, I just was like going through our website, BigSexyChat.com. And I'm looking through all the different episodes and I'm like, oh, wow. Oh, yeah. And then, oh, yeah. Wow, that seemed like that was so long ago. And,
Mhm.
just going all the way back and seeing Substantia as our first one, I was like, man, like that's just so wild. It's been a year and it was really cool to just kind of go through and see all the different names. We've had a lot of people in this community speak up and speak out. And that's what I love about this podcast is that it's not
Yeah.
us, it's the fat community and we want to bring them in and have the conversations.
Not that we don't love all of them, but which ones were your favorite ones to have?
Whoa.
This doesn't claim favorites for everyone who's been on the show. We love you all equally.
Well, for me, it would be definitely Substantia, Mistress J, and then Amazon Amanda.
Yeah.
And Amazon Amanda was kind of a turning point for our show because once we interviewed her and her show went live, that's when our numbers really spiked up. And I thought we were doing pretty well. And then once her team started sharing our episode and other episodes of ours, our numbers, like in the last 90 days, we've had almost 11,300 downloads.
Wow.
I know. All time, we've had 16,475. So,
Wow, that's incredible.
yeah.
I would say Amazon Amanda was one of my favorites too. So,
Yeah,
so Amanda, if you want to come back,
listening. That's right.
She's just so fun. I
She
just
is.
I just love her spirit. She's just a good soul, and
No pretense.
yeah. She's always a riot to be around.
Yeah, I love when people can just show up authentically like that. Just be who you are.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I get a ton of feedback from people about the hysterectomy episode.
Yes.
How much that helps them. It seems it seems so specific, but maybe people don't understand this, but when you're fat, surgeries and medical stuff, it's really fucking stressful.
Yeah.
And when people hear about that particular podcast, they're like, of course I want to hear it, even if they're not fat, because they want to know more about having hysterectomies. And Tigress and I both had a hysterectomy. So that was really cool. And I'm so grateful to her for doing that with me and for you helping us out with that too, Merf, just to help kind of navigate it. And I hear a lot about that one from a lot of people. And then, of course, we all know our number one download, though, is the one that's titled Kink and BDSM.
Hey.
Horny freaks out there, I love you. You found your crew, we found our.
Exactly. And oh man, I hope to in the 2023 in the future to bring on another person or some people that have some experience in the kink world, the lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, and have another like part 2 because there's just so much to explore, different lifestyles and different types. Like I think of I get kind of interested in I'm trying to learn more about the electricity play. That seems interesting to me. So yeah, I would love to have somebody come on and just give us some nuanced information, some context to the kink.
The violet wand, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw I went to our local sex toy store and they had a little demo and somebody has a glove
Oh,
and
yeah.
has it on the fingertips of it. And so they can like up your arm and all over your body. But it was fun. I was like, ooh, this is interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more kink in the future.
Would you like to hear a few more statistics as far as our numbers go?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So our first episode we launched on Valentine's Day this year. As I said, the last 90 days, about 11,300 downloads. All time, 16,500 so far. The last 30 days, about 2,500 downloads. The kink one, that's the number one download, 1,358. Amazon Amanda, 1,005. Are You Too Fat for Lingerie? 950 downloads. And then the one we talked about, contraception, where Sydney joined us as our correspondent. We talked about contraception for fat people and I think there was something going on in the news at the time about Roe v. Wade stuff.
Yeah.
How could I forget? So we were talking about, if you're fat, you gotta be careful about using Plan B and things like that, because a lot of people didn't realize the efficacy goes down the higher your weight. It's not really like most things. It wasn't designed or tested probably on fat babes. So, you're kind of taking your chances. Some people were taking 2 because they thought, well, if this works for someone who's 180 and I'm 350, I'll take 2. I'm like, it doesn't work that way, But those are, anyway, I'm glad that people got a lot out of those episodes. I'm glad that they were loving it still. It's kind of cool to see the older episodes still getting a lot of love. I know when people find us for the first time, they probably download a whole bunch of different, episodes at one time. And that's also fun to see too. So yeah, it's going great so far, y'all. And we've made it 25 episodes, which is really rare for a new podcast. And I guess the big sort of, you're going to be around for a while is if you can get to 50 episodes. And that's probably going to take us another year to do, but I feel like we have way more than another 25 in us. So
Absolutely.
no worries.
Yeah. And we are open for ideas for, topics and content that you want to hear. So all you got to do is email us at sexy@bigsexychat.com and we will get back to you. I saw that before we started recording today, I saw that we have a couple of questions.
If people don't want to type us a note, they can also just speak us into our website. You have like 90 seconds to ask us a question or give us a comment on our website. And it's just a little slider button on the right side of our website, BigSexyChat.com.
I don't know if I've told you, but I have this thing for ASMR. I really love to hear your voice. I would, though. I would love to hear your guys' voices. So lay it on us.
I know. It would be great to hear from more of our listeners.
I know. Have the conversation, sending us email, asking us questions. Let's go, people.
Give us ideas for people to interview and topics to discuss next year. We'd love some more ideas besides just what, the 4 or 5 of us come up with.
Exactly.
Yay.
And speaking of which, I think we should throw a shout out to our correspondent, Sydney, and our TikTok representative, Katie. And is that everybody?
That's everybody. Asherlee's here.
Asherlee's here. We can't even talk about all the amazing things that Asherlee does. She's amazeballs. What did we say we were going to call you? The
code, whatever I need to be, or whatever you need me to be.
Yes, she's our whatever we need her to be.
Co-correspondent, co-producer, co-editor. Well, only editor. You're not you're just editor.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's like Jill can't even be like Jill of all trades because that's like already a thing. I don't know. I don't have a title. I think we need to vote on one. Let's make a poll.
Ooh, I like that. Engage our listeners.
I love it.
That's fantastic. It was fun doing the Q&A with Asherlee when you were out sick, Chrystal, just because it was so different. And I think it's been a fun thing to add her in whenever we can. And here you're so spontaneous.
I'm like glitter. You just want to sprinkle me everywhere, and then you're really upset after you do.
Really upset after you.
And then you get some glitter, and you get some glitter.
Because that shit lasts forever.
That's right.
That's right, I do.
I was thinking of questions, and I sent some to you guys, and I think let's have a round robin where we can answer some of these. What was your favorite episode out of the 20 episodes that we did this year? I'll go first. So I did I did some research and I was like, okay, which one, and trying to compare. And what I really kind of distilled it down to was the Big Sexy Fat Liberation episode. And I think the reason is because it was a fun episode. It was very high energy, but also I think it was it's really what we're about, right? Building community and having fat liberation be, the main topic of discussion in one way or another. And I think it was one of those where it does build that sense of like, hey, I'm not alone. There's other people, and there's this is common and this is normal, and it just kind of gave a sense of comfort to, I think, a lot of our folks, and we got some pretty good press with that too. From NAFA. So yeah, I think that was a really good episode. That was mine.
What about you, Ash?
So I was thinking about it a lot also. Thanks for the prompts, Merf.
No problem.
And I love all of them for various reasons. And with that, I think that it came down to actually the help overcoming fat shame one for
Mm-hmm.
me, because that, you know, not only is it what you guys do and talk about and try to help with, but it's something that like I've always struggled with. I mean, I definitely grew up in a fat phobic environment, and I'm still surrounded by that fat
Mm-hmm.
phobic environment all the time, you know,
Mm-hmm.
even down to little things like people not thinking about the fact that chairs sometimes suck for fat
Mm-hmm.
butts to sit in, you know, like,
Right.
Yeah.
hi, I'd like to be able to feel my leg when I get up. Thanks. You know, and there's just all these things that we don't think about as a society. And then there's the fat phobia on top of it, not to mention like, you know, our big sexy chat page getting bombed by fat phobic people
Yeah.
who just, you know, like, so we're surrounded by it all the time, and having a space like that where we were able to talk about it and bring a new understanding to it and awareness to it. I think that was one of the ones that I really loved. It wasn't the funniest, it wasn't like the necessarily
Mm-hmm.
the most engaging, but I think that for me it was a beautiful episode because it
Mm-hmm.
really brought to light these things that are really important for so
Yeah.
many different reasons.
True.
Right.
What about you, Chrystal?
Um, there's two. I loved interviewing Reagan about the how to survive the holidays
Mm-hmm.
with your fat phobic family and friends, and then I loved our interview with Mistress J about her. I thought that was a really engaging interview. She gave a great interview. Um, I mean, I've also thought I loved it. I don't know, Amazon, Amanda. I mean, I like our first episode. I can't pick. I'm sorry. I love them all.
I totally get it. It was like I said, I was really trying to be like, okay, now what is all of this? What was the purpose of that? You know, like just to
Yeah.
distill it. But yeah, there's so many great options that we had there.
And I think the polyamory episode was a great episode, and we need to get Sydney and Asherlee back on that topic with us, and we need to do a polyamory 201 instead of 101,
Yeah,
because that was a really really useful episode, really helpful.
I agree. And that actually like throws us right into the next question, which is what topics from this year need a round two?
I am all about us doing some more polyamory episodes and maybe even breaking it down into different parts of that. And then also, I would love to see more of our fat shaming educate, not just education, but support really, and information about it. I think those would be great. They're not sexy. I mean, polyamory is sometimes sexy,
Yeah.
but hey, but yeah, I mean, I think that being able to overcome our fat shamed selves in order to get to the side of being able to feel sexy is huge.
Yeah,
And probably so many people struggle with that all the time.
absolutely.
For sure.
How about you, Crystal?
I'd love to. Yeah. I would like to have another or more additional sex workers.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear more about that. Um, you know, when you're fat, it's difficult to get a job, as we all know. For me, I always just create my own job because I don't even want to deal with being interviewed as a fat person. So I like, because there's so many ways to do sex work now
Mm-hmm.
from home. You don't even have to go anywhere. So I like to let people know that you have the opportunity, if you're a fat person, to be a sex worker and OnlyFans or whatever kind of cam girl. So I'd like to see more of that this year. Some fat people just they don't think they can, you know? But girl, get on Twitter. There's all kinds of fatties out there, and they are not shy. They do not shy away from the camera. They're not trying to, camouflage their roles. They're like putting it on display, like, yeah. So it's very empowering, I think, for people, and to give fat people an opportunity to make more money.
Yeah.
I like that idea. And of course, I always want to hear more from NASA and Tigress. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this year their big push is to help. There's a few states or cities where fat people are a protected class, and they're trying to get that, more legislation. So I hope we can cover that some this year too.
Yeah, I really hope so. And I'm I was grateful to hear how much work NAFA is putting into the legislative side of their activism and really trying to move things forward. It would be nice to not be able to be discriminated against about your weight when you're at your work or, applying for whatever, a loan, Section 8 housing, whatever it may be. Yeah.
Before we move on, I just want to say too, I'd really like to get somebody on to talk about PCOS and to
crap.
really get into the nitty gritty of it, because my day job, I'm removing facial hair from people, or hair, I should just say body hair, permanent. I do permanent hair removal. A lot of my clients have PCOS, and there's so much different information out there that nobody really knows what's right and what's wrong. What's the test you're supposed to get? Like, so if you have it or not. Do you need to know? I think you do if you ever want to try to have kids. Anyway, it's a complicated topic, and it's mostly affects people. Well, it only affects people born with uterus, and it's fucked up. And I talk to people all day long, and I know it's a topic that's important to all three of us, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually gonna see my GYN. I always try to separate that out, like not OB, just GYN. I see her in February, and she and I are pretty close. So I'll ask her if she's willing to come on as a guest host and talk about it. As someone who has PCOS, it is quite the ordeal. So yeah, I would love to. And I know a lot of people, a lot of people size.
I did go to a conference for electrolysis this past fall when I got really sick. We brought the flu to Vegas. That was fun. We didn't get the flu in Vegas, so we brought it with us. I went to a conference, and one of the topics was about PCOS. And the person that gave the talk said that fat causes PCOS, not PCOS causes fat. So I snapped, basically. I wasn't feeling good. I did snap though, and I've been on it since then. I'm like, we got to get the better information out there. And she's a doctor and supposed to be an expert, but I was like, no, not all the time. And by the way, there's lots of skinny people with PCOS. So then, how do you explain that? But anyway, I digress. I'll let you keep moving forward.
No, I completely agree. And there's so much misinformation, so much with medical in regards to fat bodies. Like, it's almost, and I know we're going to do an episode of this in 2023 at some point, but it's just, I think a lot of us have experienced that sense of, I don't even want to address your issue or look at your issue because you're fat. Like, I don't even want to look at you. Like, I don't want to touch you, nothing. Like, it's really prevalent in the medical industry. And it's something that's becoming super impactful in healthcare. And people are starting to call it out on their providers, which is awesome. It's about damn time. As Lizzo would say, it's about damn time.
Well, and there's even providers that are teaching. I mean, I know mine. He is like, I want you to say this to anybody who talks to you in any way that's like fat phobic or fat shaming about your health. Like, I want you to look at them and say, did I come here for a diet help? Did I come here for weight loss assistance? Did I come here to talk about my weight? Or are we talking about this other thing? Right. Can you focus on this other thing? No, then I'm out of here. Yes, great, we can continue. And like having that kind of power is just, I don't think that a lot of people know to do that. People, but there are providers that do that kind of thing, and it's freaking amazing.
I know. Can we replicate them?
Yes.
Yeah. It's, as we all know, it's very hard to find your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's especially hard to find your voice when you've been told all your life that doctors know everything. A lot of doctors and PAs have a little bit of a God complex, and it's very intimidating to tell your doctor who's gone to school for 12 years about your disease that's nothing to do with your fat, but they just, everything is colored by your body. When we got to change that big time. And I want to talk about that more this year too.
Yep.
What other questions do you have, Merf?
So did you learn something new this year from the podcast?
Baldo!
I really need to get one. I keep forgetting. I need to order or just have them send me one.
It's gonna forever be the thing for me. That's just the funniest thing. I can't believe I never thought that this thing could, I've never even thought about it in my mind, like never once have I thought, what would be cool is if there was this thing that did this, and I just love it so much.
It's been around for a little while, but yeah, that was funny. that, yeah, I know you guys both were like, what? What does he call that? He has like a word for it. So you can have like a ballgasm, I guess. Was it a ballgasm?
Yeah, ballgasm. For those who don't know, we're talking about the slippery when wet episode. So go back and listen to it.
And the baldo basically turns the balls into
the vibrator
a thing that you can use for penetration.
You can have sex
with your balls.
With your balls.
But the penis doesn't have to go in there, just the balls.
Just the balls.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, so that makes it so like the balls can be what goes in you, and the cock, penis, whatever, shaft can rub along.
Maybe you can have double penetration. You could have the penis go in the butthole and then the balls go in the vagina hole.
Yeah.
Vagina hole.
It's endless. It's endless fun. That was so interesting about the baldo.
Yeah.
What was interesting about it was Merf's face as he said it. Was like, I wasn't even on camera, but Merf's face was my face. I was like,
what? Poor men. They don't make a lot of sex toys for men. I'm joking. I don't feel sorry for men. But, there's not a lot of sex toys made just for them. Most of the toys are focused on people with a clitoris. And because we all know it's not difficult for most men to find a way to have an orgasm. So it's a little trickier for people born with clitoris. But the cool thing about the clitoris, it only has one job, just to give you an orgasm.
Orgasms, baby.
That's it. Use it. Work it out. Penis has lots of other jobs.
Speaking of something that we learned, I remember being dumbfounded when Substantia said that New Zealanders are really against fat people. That blew my mind because they're just so progressive and just like they have the best accents and there's hobbits there. And what the hell?
They're hobbits.
The thing is, I think she talked about how you can't adopt. One of us brought up it's hard to adopt a baby in the United States if you're a fat person, and I think that's the same thing in New Zealand and Australia. But there's a lot of progressives in the United States that don't ever, they're not ever activated for us, right? Sometimes I get pissed off because I try so hard to help any cause that it has to do with where people are being marginalized, trans, gay, Black, brown, Muslim, but sometimes I feel like they leave us out, and I would like to see more of that in the future because, and then it sucks because, you can't even move to fucking New Zealand if you're fat. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's messed up to me because that was my fallback plan for when Trump goes again. Look, I'm going to New Zealand. Oh shit!
You're gonna be fine. You don't have to worry about that. He's not gonna be president again. There's no way in hell. No way now.
Okay. Well, when he's dictator again.
There you go. Yeah. Please, God, no.
We're forced to buy his trading cards. Put them.
This is so ridiculous. Did he just open himself up for so much? So many memes.
Okay, but do you know how many people are out there actually taking that shit seriously and being like,
sold out.
"Oh my God, did you get the Trump card where he's standing like an eagle above the flag?" I mean, I want
to. How do you sell out of a digital card, by the way? I guess because it's an NFT or whatever. So I don't understand. But I heard he sold out. I'm like, he sold out? The hell? It's so bizarre. But anyway, I digress.
Okay.
Asherlee, you digressed.
I'm done.
We all digress. You say
we all digress.
We all have traumatic stress disorder. And we all go flying back to the nom days where we're like, it's like trigger.
Oh my God. Right? It's the 1,000-year stare.
Seriously. They're going to be like, remember 2020? And all of us just kind of disassociate and our eyes glaze over. Okay.
What was your next question, Merf?
In 2023, if you could have guests on the show, who would you choose to bring on the show?
I have a long list and I've prepared if you're ready.
Okay. Then
do it.
I say go. And then I bet you we have some of the same. I only wrote down 3 because I knew you had a long list.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with everybody on Chrystal.
So some of these are pie in the sky for sure. Like Jack Black and Lizzo. Those are like, woo. I might have a connection for Jack Black. Lizzo, I have no connection. I'm still really trying hard to find if we can interview Bridget Everett at some point.
Yeah.
We might have some ways. If anybody out there knows of ways we can help, we can interview any of these people, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy at BigSexyChat. Lizzie, the ballet dancer, I would love. Whoa, you know what I forgot? Who's the gentleman he does ballet and other kinds of dance? He's always wearing like red vinyl stilettos.
Yes. I've seen his video.
I'm not sure of his pronouns. I should keep saying he, but I want them on the show too.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa McCarthy, Gabourey Sibiday. I mean, these are, like I said, pie in the sky. I said Fat Joe because I like that he came to the defense of those women that were
the teacher,
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I loved to interview Fat Joe. Jennifer C is Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh yes.
Oh, she's a national treasure.
Love her.
Me too. Yeah, Stifler's mom forever.
Okay.
And then, I would love to interview Tiger some more about the NAFA stuff. Maybe follow up with Substantia to see what's going on with the Adiposity Project. I know she had a really tough year last year.
Yeah.
With all the trolls and people trying to keep her from being successful.
Right.
And then, I can't think of anybody else. What about you? What did you guys come up with?
I have one that you haven't listed. Mary Lambert.
Oh, yes.
That's my pie in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. And I love that she's doing all of this, like, she's doing her own, like, fat babe stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's so cute. Like, I love her merchandise about it is super cute and just everything she talks about. And she goes into the medical stuff and she goes into a ton of different things, like on top of the fact that she got to be like one of the main characters in this Netflix cartoon, which was adorable.
My friend Cammie's done some of her stuff, and Cammie's really fascinating. She and I met at the Body Love conference in Tucson. What's that been, 10 years now, and we're still Facebook friends. But she's done a few of these, and she loves her seminars and stuff. So she feels I'm sure I feel we can make that happen.
I mean, we might be able to. She's pretty active on social media, and like
she's also she's no pretense. She's just very down to earth.
Yep. No, she's like put her actual email out there before for things that are like. So
that's awesome.
Maybe I'll approach her.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary, how you doing?
Yeah, and she's a very strong advocate for the queer LGBTQ plus community, which is really incredible too. So
yeah, I love her. Plus, gorgeous voice. She's one of the only vinyl albums I own, and I could listen to it all the time.
Yeah,
and like she's so raw about her emotions. I have such a girl crush on her.
Yeah.
Anyway,
nice. So all of the above that you've listed, but I also have two other individuals. So I have so one of my topics that I think we should do more on is marijuana. And so I think Asherlee Monta would be great to bring on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think Lena Marie, she's a sex educator, sex positive health advocate. I think that she would be great. And then Lindley Ashley.
Oh, I have her on my list too.
Yeah.
Oh, Lindley Ashley. Okay, I thought you meant she'll totally come on our show.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of Linnea, also from Excite Me.
Yeah.
Linnea Marie. Did I say her name wrong? Linnea Marie?
Oh, I couldn't tell if you were talking about. Okay, so we're talking about the same person. I thought you said Lindley. Lindley Asherline is a different person.
But
Linnea
Marie was my favorite one. The sex positive.
I have her on my list. I forgot to say her name, but we'll have her on the show for sure. She sells sex toys and she talks about fat sex and fat babes, and she's right up our alley.
I know, and I love her social media posts. Like she's just always got bright colors around her, and her hair's rainbow sometimes, and she looks like so much fun.
She does. I agree. But we could also have Lindley Asherline on our show.
Yeah,
she's the one that does. She creates photos of fat bodies.
Yep.
For clip art, or however you want to buy it and use it. And she does a lot of body trust, all kinds of different things. She's really amazing.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. But yeah, I would love all the big pie in the sky people too. You know, the Lizzos, the Jack Blacks, the you know, everyone. There's a lady that was in Clerks 3, and she's a comedian, and I just have been infatuated with her. And I just followed her on Instagram, and I don't want to get her name wrong.
Is it the Buteau lady, Michelle Buteau?
It's Michelle Buteau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. The day you told me about her, you sent me a link.
Yeah.
My girlfriend Sean said, "Hey, do you know about this girl, Michelle Buteau?" And I go, "Oh, I just learned about her." And then the next morning I saw her on the Today Show.
Nice. Yeah. She was in Clerks 3, and you have to see this scene. It's just like 7 minutes of her just talking mad shit. And she's like, it's so fast and it's so on point with everything that she's doing that you're just left amazed. And it's during a scene where it's very like a very dramatic scene that's like very serious. And then she just like pulls you right out of it. It's so cool. So yeah, I'd love to chat with her too.
I like her style.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So what do you want most for 2023 with the podcast? Mine was sponsorship.
Yeah.
We got to be able to pay our little Asherlee.
Yes. Sponsorship. Yeah, I would like to. I want to make sure we do a couple different things about medical thought phobia, just so we can empower more people. You know, I'd like to see more of that. Is that what you mean? Is that the kind of thing you mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and that'd be nice to make some money. Yeah, maybe we could become. Maybe we can make some money in 2023.
Yeah. Get some advertisers or something.
Yeah. Yeah, pay me, bitches. I want
You get paid now. Make sure you let people know.
Oh, no.
We pay you.
That's right. Chrystal pays me very fairly. I meant from the rest of you.
That's right. Well, I mean,
don't throw in as much. So we need some contributors here.
Yeah, it does help if people would contribute, buy us a cup of coffee. I mean, this is expensive, you know, to do twice a month, and you know, we don't really pay Asherlee as much as we should be paying her. We try to pay her, you know, quickly and fairly, but she should be getting paid a lot more. So if people want to help us, that would be cool because it helps us to keep, you know, we want to do this for lots more years, definitely at least another 25, just so we can prove the wrong. We're going to do 50 episodes.
Where's all the sugar daddies when you need them? I mean, how many cups of coffee could some of them buy me?
Have you guys ever seen that influencer? She says her pronouns are sugar and daddy. That's a good one. Yeah, we need some sugar daddies. We need some.
I was going to say, well, we will accept material goods as well in lieu of actual cash. So if you have, you know, a brand new Louis Vuitton bag or, you know, a Porsche, I'm also looking to buy an SUV if you wanted to give me one of those.
This is quickly becoming Santa baby. Hurry down the chimney tonight.
That's right. Oh,
Did you say, Asherlee, did you say what you would like to see more of?
More downloads, more listens, more
share
more feedback. I would love actually to have some of our amazing listeners. Thank you for downloading and listening. We love you all, and it'd be nice for you guys to send us questions more often, or you know, just engage with us and tell us what you want, because really Chrystal and Merf are out here throwing spaghetti noodles against a wall and seeing which ones are going to stick. And if you guys tell us which ones stick, it's a lot easier.
So much easier. Plus, I love to have a conversation, you know, bring something to our attention, or even a constructive criticism, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Or send Merf boobs. That was the other thing. Send Merf boobs.
Send me boobs.
No one sent Merf boobs.
I don't even know if they're really listening. Maybe Elon's put all of his bots, and it's just bots downloading us, and there's real boobs on the other end.
You know what? I'll send you boobs, Merf. It's fine. Here you go. Me and Amanda.
They're everywhere.
Amanda and I'll send you boobs.
That's right.
Yeah. I forget what I was going to say now, but yeah, it's a more two-way conversation. Oh, I know I was going to say, we love ideas from our listeners. Who else should we interview, and what other topics can we cover for you?
Yeah.
Because we do this to help, right? We always say that the whole reason we do this and we put all this money and effort into it is because we want to make sure people coming up after us, it's easier for you than it was for us. And we want to share what we know. We want to share. I hate to think of people reinventing the wheel. Like, let me help, you know, like, here's how I don't get sweaty crotch, like I put my deodorant in between my sweaty crotch area. Like I want to share that kind of stuff, and not be afraid to talk about the toileting and all that kind of stuff that they shy away from. And it's just, believe me, everybody out there has the same fucking questions because there's no information out there. So,
right. We've always been told that you're not supposed to seek that information.
right.
It was so interesting. I was having like a lunch dinner for my whole team. And one of the members of my team said, "What are you doing this weekend?" I said, "Oh, I'm doing this and that. And I'm going to record the podcast." And she goes, my husband, I have to tell you, my husband loves your guys' podcast. And I said, "Really?" And she's like, "He thinks it's the coolest thing ever." This guy is like a 6'2" bodybuilder fireman. And he has the entire station in their community listening to our podcast. The fire station listens to us.
Hi, gentlemen and ladies of the fire world.
I think Chrystal needs to say, "Hey,
sup?"
I'm playing with a lighter right now.
Come put out my fire.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, that's cool. Great feedback. I was going to say in the very beginning, we got a lot more constructive feedback. We haven't really gotten much constructive feedback.
Yeah.
People think we could be doing something differently, or we should be doing something differently. Please, we may or may not agree with you, but share.
Yeah.
We can't get better unless we get constructive criticism, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. What topic did we not get to this year that you want to get to?
One thing I would like to get to is being fat and going to amusement parks like Disneyland and those things. And we'll have to have my friend Sam on. She has a whole Instagram all about this. But yeah. Oh, and also maybe we should have Plus Mommy on sometime to talk about fat fertility and fat birth, because there's a lot of information out there that will make you think that you're going to die if you're fat and you have a baby. And by the way, fat women have been having babies for a millennia. So you're going to be okay. But yeah, the medical fat phobia is really heavy in the birthing world. So those are two topics I'd love to see us talk about. What about you two?
I want fat Kama Sutra. Like I want way more about sex positions and different, like not just positions in bed, positions outside of it. I want to know the best way to have sex on a couch, in the back of a van, on the washer and dryer. I don't know. I mean, just like, I want to know the best ways to have sex. Like, obviously experimenting is fun. Yay, science. But also, I think it would be great to like help people even get that imagery in their mind, because like, I think that I know for me, being a fat woman, I was like, I don't even want to look at that book. Like there's nothing in there that I can do. I can't stand on my head upside down on one finger with my toe pointed on the wall. Like I can't do that. So like, what can I do that's more than just, these couple things, or more than just on the bed? Or so, yeah, I mean, I'd love to see more of that topic.
Yeah. We get asked a lot of the, just in general, not so much on the email, but and whenever I mention the podcast, that's one of the things. Oh, like sex positions, or like,
Yeah.
so it's very common that people that's one of the first things they want to know.
That's Linnea is good for that. We'll have that topic with Linnea.
Yeah.
And she'll have a great resources for us, I'm sure of it.
I love it. I was thinking, so sex phobias, I think that would be interesting. Sex myths, maybe a little bit more on safer sex practices. I know we've talked like a little bit about lubes and stuff like that, but maybe stuff about condoms or genital dams, or, those kind of things too. And then I'd love to just kind of explore like sex lifestyles, the different types, and just kind of learn a little bit more about, it's kind of in that fetish community kind of thing, just the different lifestyles that people prescribe to.
One of my friends is a sex worker in Las Vegas, and she brings condoms with her. She wants to be in control of the condoms they use when she has sex with strangers.
Smart.
But yeah, she uses the female condom. So she puts it in her vagina, and then the opening is kind of like bendy, or like a little snap to it or something. Anyway, that kind of opens up outside of her vagina right at her vulva, and it just that way you don't get. Sometimes if you use a male condom or whatever, I don't know what to call those, but a traditional condom, you're going to be in touch with more of the person's skin.
Yep.
And if they're getting ready to have an outbreak or they're chafing their herpes or whatever, she said it's just more
hygienic.
She won't tell us she would come on the show. I'm sure she would.
Yeah,
We might not be able to use her name, but she'd come on. But yeah.
Okay. We don't have to use names. We can be
Not at all. Yeah.
If you had to change something going into 2023 about the podcast, what would it be? I have mine.
Do you want my editor thing?
I want your editor answer.
All right. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You're sitting down?
I am.
I know you're sitting down. Less talking over each other and agreeing every 3 seconds. Chrystal. Look at you, Chrystal.
Yeah. So I understand. I get it. I'm guilty. I gotcha.
Editor thing aside, I would love to see the energy. Like when we have episodes that have a lot of energy and are fueled, like I think you can tell. And I don't know if other people can tell, but I can tell. And I'd love to see more energy in even some of the heavier topics, just in a way that really keeps it moving. You know, like
draws people in, keeps it touch and flowing. Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha.
Merf, could you read the question again?
Yeah. What would be one thing that you would change about the podcast?
I would change about the podcast, possibly make a shorter intro. Maybe try to always stay under an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I know it's difficult, but we can talk about that. I mean, it depends on who you listen to.
Yeah.
As far as experts go, and maybe I'm wrong. So I'm just throwing it out there for the two of you for us to discuss later.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like energy too.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to stop agreeing with you. I'm sorry I'm so agreeable.
I do the same thing.
I know.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you both be so nice and sweet and communicate so well? God.
Yeah.
I was on a Zoom the other day and I was like this and I wasn't paying attention. And the lady's like, Meredith, you're nodding. What would you like to add? And I was like, I was just nodding.
Busted.
Shit. Yeah.
I'm a nodder. I nod all the time. It's bad.
But it's part of that agreeing, like as you're same thing, it's like all the time. I am hoping to work on being more prepared for the podcast. That's something I'd really like to change because I hate when I come on here and I like say, oh, that person, and then I don't have their name or I don't have their Instagram, tag or whatever it is. And then I'm always like, well, shit, now I got to get that information for Chrystal later. And I'm just like, and I would just rather be a little bit more prepared. So I felt it was a good practice for me today to have the notes that I have because I've had this book for our little 20 episodes. And I noticed that for the past like 4 or 5 episodes, I have nothing written down. And I was like, yeah, I need to be way more consistent about this and make sure that I am a bit more prepared before we jump in so that I feel like I can bring more energy and like know what I'm talking about instead of getting defeated of like, damn it, you didn't remember that person's name.
Great advice for all of us, probably. Well, for me.
I think for all of us. And I think that, it would be great because I think if we do those things, right, if those things get put together, that's how the show gets elevated.
Yeah.
Right. You get to have more professional sounds. You get to have more put together conversation. You get to have more, all these things that are good and wonderful and just even better.
Exactly. I have to tell you though, last night, I had some wild sex and I thought I was having an aneurysm. And that's how hard I was coming. It was.
I need to hear every single detail about
Good
this.
for you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was intense.
Were you high? Were you on cannabis?
I was on cannabis for sure. Yeah.
Mary Jane?
I was going to say the same thing. I was like, oh man, that was high sex.
Yeah. It was, but I mean, I needed it. I laid there afterwards for like a solid probably 7 minutes, not moving and just tingling like all over my body. I was like, this is the tits, man. Like it's not going to get better than this.
Okay. What strain was it? Would you share with the people?
It was a sativa strain from this brand called Tonic. They make little like energy shots or vitamin shots. And so you can just like whoop, shoot it and cannabis delivered. Wonderful.
Yum. I need you to text me what the
Yeah.
name of that
Yeah,
is.
I will.
Just send me the whole thing. I would like to also lay here for 7 minutes tingling after having an aneurysm, Merf.
Telling you, I was like, nope, I'm gonna have an aneurysm right now because my head was pounding. I hadn't breathed. I was just like exploding, and I'm like, I'm gonna die right now. Happy, but I'm gonna die.
Good way to go. You know, I saw the funniest meme the other day. I'm on a bunch of like kind of more adult Facebook groups and stuff. And this person said whenever she meets somebody new, a new male partner, she always tells them she can squirt. So they try harder.
I love it.
She's like, I really can't squirt, but not. She's like, maybe I squirted twice, but I feel like they up their game. And what they're like, trying everything, you know.
Right?
I could think of several people who that would not be great. Actually, I would prefer them not. Please stop trying.
Yeah. Been there, done that. I was like, come back up here. Yeah, no. Because when they get too, like, I'm going to make you squirt, then it loses all the fun. So it's like,
right. Like, I sent Merf a video of this earlier, but there was this like video of like a couple and the guys like going to town on the controller, like playing a game. You know, like the way that guys tend to kind of go to town on the clit. And she like, his wife reaches over and is like, no, like this, you know, like slowly. And I'm like, oh my God, the amount of times that I'm like, stop. Just come on, you can do this still.
That's right.
Okay.
That's something that we do need on next year is a person to come on and talk about the types of like vulva massage and like
yoni massage.
And yeah, just like somebody who's an expert at getting women off. Like, I feel like I know how to do that and I'm okay at it, but I would really like somebody who's, you know, that's their expertise.
I always say like soft, warm bread dough.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, not a howitzer. It's just,
Right.
you know.
Well, in the legs of the clit, like there's no.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. Talking about all those components. I think that would be fun for next year. There's so much good stuff for next year. I'm excited.
Me too. Do we have more stuff for tonight?
I don't think so. I think we are all done. We've wrapped up the year. I mean, yes, we're a little bit less than a year because we started in February, but you know what? You can kiss my fat ass. I don't give a shit.
Merf, the saying goes, kiss the fattest part of my fat ass, okay?
Yes.
That's right.
That's right. That's what we need as an infographic, Asherlee, is kiss the fattest part of my fat ass, Chrystal.
Yes.
I got that.
It's a good
I
one.
can definitely do that.
Yes, we need that one for sure.
Is there any advice you want to give all of the fat lovelies out there going into the very end of the year and going forward? Just something that you would impart on them, some wisdom, some end of the year, I'm a year older, I'm a year wiser knowledge.
I'll share.
Yeah.
Do not settle. Don't settle for a crappy lover. Don't settle for a crappy partner. I know this is common bullshit that we all hear. Because you're fat, you might settle for something else because you're just so grateful. I'm just using air quotes right now because the word fucking pisses me off. Don't ever settle. I mean, personally, I'd rather be alone and lonely than be with some shithead and lonely. And you don't have to settle. You can ask for the world. You don't have to reduce what you're looking for or become smaller, you know, physically or emotionally. Don't settle. Don't do any of that. You'll be so sorry.
Yeah, that's great. I would say dig deeper. Whenever you're dealing with a conflict or you're dealing with a challenge, or even if something just is always right, dig deeper and try to explore what that is. Because the thing that's always feeling right, there's something about that you can recreate in a lot of different ways for the things that don't feel so right. And it's hard, but challenging yourself to do that is a real practice in self-actualization and recognizing that you have the ability, you have way more ability than what you think that you do, but you have to dig a little bit deeper each time to see that. And so whenever I think of like, oh, this is horrible, this is like the most negative thing ever, I always have to try to find some aspect of that isn't terrible and find that little piece. And that's digging deeper. So I would just say, don't buy into the new year, new me bullshit. just dig a little bit deeper and figure out what makes you feel good and start replicating that.
I love those things.
Ash, what about you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was thinking it's funny because Chrystal's is like, don't settle. And Merf's is dig deeper. And mine is, you are fucking enough. You are enough exactly the way you are right here, right now, in this moment. You are enough to deserve to not settle. You are enough that you get to have the permission to dig deeper. You are enough exactly the way you are. And you don't need to be anything for anyone. Just be everything for yourself.
As Asherlee would normally say, eat the mic. That is life.
Eat the mic.
Eat the mic.
Taste it. Get it. Yeah. No, it's not eat it, it's suck it.
Make that magic spit out of that mic, baby.
Gotta get way back to the back.
Oh man, that was a favorite. Magic spit.
Magic spit.
The thick spit. You gotta love it.
I still like I gotta send you that image of that lady from BBW Adventures XXX, that Amazon Amanda's company. That lady in the bathroom just making it come out of her mouth out and not having to do anything. I was amazed. It's beautiful.
That's really cool.
So many different feelings about that.
Right?
But I wish men would spend as much time as we all do learning these tricks and trying to figure out how to get the good thick spit going. And I don't know. I always feel like it's the women that always end up doing that. Maybe that's sexist of me. I don't know.
No, I think for the most part, there's more tips and tricks that have to be given to women in those scenarios just because we're in a man's world.
Yeah, true.
No fun.
All right. Well, on that note.
Well, it has been fantastic getting to do this year with you guys.
Thank you for joining us.
I love every single bit of it. I hope that everybody has a fantastic holiday and that people go back and listen to this season while we are taking a little break to start the new one. We're so thankful for you. And I'm so grateful to both of you for everything you're doing and everything that you are in this world for me and other people that are like us and the upcoming generations that are getting to hear these messages. So I'm just so thankful for both of you.
Same.
Yeah. It's been an awesome year.
Fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed just having the ability to talk about all these things with two incredible women, and the support and the amazing contributions from Sydney and Katie have been super appreciated. And I think continue to branch out as we go into 2023 and have some exciting new opportunities.
I'm excited. I will see you later, alligators.
After a while, crocodiles.
Out the door, dinosaur.
So where can you find your favorite fatties? You can find us at BigSexyChat.com, on all the social medias at BigSexyChat, on Twitter, BigSexyChatPod. And Chrystal, how can they reach us?
Oh, Merf, the best way to reach us is by email, which is sexy@bigsexychat.com. And remember to like, subscribe, and share, please.